There's a lot of new rumors going around for Roman Reigns and the Bloodline both outside and inside of the ring, so we'll see what's going on there. We'll also see what's going on with Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and much more. Let's start things off with the latest rumors for Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. What's being said there and what's the status of their storyline? So, like we've been discussing since after WrestleMania, it looks like WWE is still going through with the downfall of the Bloodline and a civil war sort of story arc for the faction, but in a much different way than originally expected. Everyone thought the downfall of the Bloodline would be focused around not only the Usos losing their titles, but Roman Reigns losing his titles as well, and how the loss of all their championships in the span of 48 hours at the biggest event of the year would make the family faction just crumble. That's what everyone thought we would see, and how everything would look like for the Bloodline post-WrestleMania. But the big change to everyone's prediction and expectations is that Roman Reigns still has his world titles. So the fall of the Bloodline isn't centered around Roman losing his titles. It's continuing to be centered around the title loss from the Usos and how they continue to be a disappointment in Roman's eyes. That's where all this current conflict is coming from for the Bloodline. Solo Sikoa has been waiting for the signal from Roman for weeks to dispose his brothers from the family. And like we saw that night of Roman's Smackdown return, he's no longer keeping his disappointment and anger a secret. He straight up told the Usos that they're the biggest problem that the Bloodline has right now. Even above Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and everyone else they're up against, Roman pretty much said that the Usos are the biggest current problem and obstacle for the Bloodline. He was shoving Jimmy Uso in the face, calling the Wild Samoans the greatest tag team ever as a diss to the Usos, and just doing everything he possibly could to distance himself from the Usos. And even with Roman's SmackDown return segment, the Civil War sides have pretty much been revealed to us. It's Roman, Solo, and Paul Heyman on one side, with Jimmy and Jey Uso on the opposite side. Just this massive split amongst the family, right down the middle. So with the Usos failing to get the job done and handle business, Roman and Solo will now be fighting on behalf of the Bloodline to get those tag team titles back to the family. But here's where the new rumors and reports start to kick in. It's being reported that Roman and Solo versus the Usos in a tag team match is the plan, and how it could go down on July 1st at Money in the Bank. So given that new report, everyone expects the outcome of Roman and Solo's Night of Champions match to continue to push the narrative forward to tease this big Bloodline Civil War tag team match. So we spoke a few days ago about how the Usos could accidentally screw up and cost Roman and Solo the match. And that's still a possibility, but who knows? Maybe the Usos can even stand up for themselves and purposely cost Roman and Solo the match. But regardless of how it all goes down, it looks like whatever happens in the closing moments of Night of Champions tag team titles match will get us closer to seeing Roman and Solo versus the Usos. If they do decide to have that massive tag team match go down at Money in the Bank, that means that they have all of June to really crank up the tension and split within the Bloodline. Money in the Bank is also a genius place to have this match at because it's going to be live from the O2 Arena in London, and there's a lot of hype around London hosting this event. So it does make sense to have this massive moment for the Bloodline go down at Money in the Bank. It's also being reported that Roman Reigns will then go on to defend his undisputed Universal title at SummerSlam, but there's no word on who the opponent may be for Roman. It seems like most fans are hoping for Roman Reigns' SummerSlam opponent to be Jey Uso. Even if they decide to have the Roman and Solo versus the Usos match at Money in the Bank, Roman and Jey only met in the ring one-on-one 2 times during this Universal title reign. So if they do meet again at SummerSlam, it's completing their trilogy and could possibly be the best match in story of their 3 meetings. But it's also highly possible that they could go in another direction because you got some big new guys on SmackDown that can definitely step up to Roman Reigns. guys like Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, and so on. It's also being reported that Roman Reigns will be going on an even more limited WWE working schedule post SummerSlam. He'll reportedly still be around here and there, but allegedly it's nowhere even close to the amount of appearances he'll be making leading up to SummerSlam. So that's another major issue when that time comes. Roman will really be hard to find after SummerSlam. Reports claim that the reason for his extended absence after SummerSlam is related to his transition into Hollywood and doing some things there for that transition during the time frame. Despite a long hiatus being on the horizon for Roman Reigns, the other pieces of news floating around for him is that there's still allegedly a strong chance Roman will still be champion heading into WrestleMania 40 and even possibly post WrestleMania 40. So that appears to be all the upcoming plans for the Bloodline. If everything goes according to these rumors, then it's looking like June and July will be dedicated to the Civil War arc, and August will be Roman's next title defense before his extended hiatus. So be on the lookout for big things to come for the Bloodline within the next few weeks. Speaking of big programs, let's get into the latest with Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch. Becky returned to Raw recently and spoke for the first time since Trish's betrayal and challenged Trish to a match at Night of Champions. But reports have been continuing to claim that this feud between Trish and Becky is far from over. Some reports are even saying that Trish and Becky are expected to be involved with each other in some way throughout the summer. Night of Champions will be the first real chapter in their story, and then they're expected to do something together at Money in the Bank. The rumor right now for them is to either face each other one-on-one at Money in the Bank, or for Becky and Trish to both be in the actual Money in the Bank ladder match and continue their story during that match. And the rumored finale for the feud will be at SummerSlam with another Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus match. So Becky and Trish are expected to last throughout the summer and could possibly even be a trilogy. But what are your thoughts on today's stories with Roman Reigns, the Bloodline, and Becky Lynch? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.